then green was more important to him than black or white. The comments he made here, if you read the whole thing, the comments he made were repulsive. He went off on the TV series Roots and what a fraud it was. And he made a comment, if I don't want to sell fried chicken to blacks, I shouldn't have to. It's my restaurant. Anyway, Bill Watts had a lot of repulsive comments in that interview. And it was one of the reasons that Paul Heyman sued WCW and won. If he won, or if there was a settlement, or what the situation was. He won a lot of money. I know that, because he said that Bill Watts would routinely, and at least once this happened in front of a locker room full of people. So it's not just he said, she said. There were other witnesses to this. But he would make comments about Heyman being Jewish, and he would make comments about women, derogatory comments about women. And after he was fired from the company, Heyman sued for wrongful termination. And I think it was either workplace discrimination or ethnic discrimination that he also sued for. Probably a bad idea to even get into this kind of thing with Heyman. His father was a lawyer. I don't quite think WCW knew the tree they were barking up when that happened. But Heyman still says he's not even really allowed to talk about it, even to this day. So we don't have the details on, how much he won or anything like that. I guess there must be some confidentiality clause. But what happened with Hank Aaron, to get back to your original question, this all ties together. What happened with Hank Aaron is one of the greatest, for those who don't know, one of the greatest baseball players, legends to ever play the game. Played for the Braves, still to this day works as an executive for the team. He's been part of the whole, Atlanta family there now for decades. I don't know how much he's actually doing these days. He's 86 years old at this point. But he was working for Turner and had his own office there and everything. And there was a WCW show where he made an appearance. And I don't know what show this was. I don't know if it was just, hey, here's Hank Aaron, and he waved. But you can find pictures online of him in the ring being interviewed, and there's Bill Watts. Bill Watts is in the ring as well. They're all smiles. And Mark Madden at the time, you may know that name. Mark Madden has been a writer for a number of years, and he was working for WCW. In the later years, he was doing commentary for WCW. Mark Madden at the time, not only was he writing for, I think, one of the Philadelphia newspapers, but he was also a writer and a columnist for The Torch. He was working for Wade Keller and The Torch, which is where Bill Watts had given that interview that I just talked about. And so he knew what Watts said. And when he saw Hank Aaron standing with a smile on his face, shoulder to shoulder in the middle of the ring with Bill Watts, he was appalled. And so what did Mark Madden do? Mark Madden faxed a copy of the interview with Bill Watts. He faxed a copy of the interview to Hank Aaron. And when Hank Aaron read those comments that Watts had made, he was rightfully appalled. He didn't even know who Bill Watts was. He didn't know that he was working for WCW. He wasn't a fan. He didn't know. I'm sure the day that he was in the ring for WCW, he's probably looking around going, I don't know who these fucking people are. I was just told to be here. But he was appalled by what he read. And he said, look, if this guy works for Turner, then something will be done about it. And the very next day, Bill Watts was gone from WCW. Now, he may have resigned. He may have been fired. I think he claims that he quit. Maybe it's the old, you can't fire me, I quit thing. Depends who you believe. But hey, look, maybe he did. Maybe he did quit on his own. Maybe they met with him about it. They had a meeting. And maybe they wanted him to apologize. And can you picture Bill Watts being the kind of person to go out there and say, oh, I'm sorry? Probably not. So I could easily see a situation where they called him into a meeting and said, you have to do this, you have to say that. And basically he was like, fuck you, I quit. Maybe that's what happened. But that was the end of Bill Watts in WCW. No one will ever dispute his success as a wrestler. Nobody will ever dispute his success as a promoter. And his 1 year in WCW gave Ron Simmons his one and only world title. Some great matches that year in 1992 with Sting and Vader, the Dangerous Alliance. There was a lot of good stuff that year in WCW. The top rope disqualification rule, that wasn't so good. Him wanting to make wrestling more realistic by having all the mats removed from around the ring, those silly little things that help cushion the blow when you get slammed on the floor, for the safety and welfare of the performers. Yeah, let's get rid of those. But it wasn't a bad year for WCW, at least in terms, creatively. Business-wise, maybe it wasn't. I don't have all the numbers in front of me. It's not like WCW was lighting the world on fire in 1992, but then again, neither was WWE. Business-wise, that was a pretty terrible year for them too. But it was negligence on WCW's part even hiring him in the first place after he had made those comments. I mean, just from a business point of view, the comments he made, if your choice is to discriminate against an entire group of people, you know what that makes you? That makes you a really shitty business person. That's what it makes you. A smart person would want to serve as many customers as they can. Not a very bright thing for him to say. And yet, that did not stop Vince McMahon from hiring Bill Watts 2 years later to a position of power in WWE. And that didn't last very long either.
This is Mark Merrow, and you're listening to the Turnbuckle Throwbacks with Phil J. and that pain in the ass Choppy.
What this network needs, this network gets. I promise you that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Broadcasting live from Shaolin, Staten Island, New York City.
Freak Show Central.
Where's that?
New York City.
It's the Turnbuckle Throwbacks Wrestling Podcast with Phil, Jay, and that pain in the ass, Choppy. On Rant EM Radio, proud member of the Shining Wizards Network and Dark Satellite Media.
July 22nd, 2021. Episode 3. Is it July? No, January.
You said July, right? You just said July.
I'm exhausted. Episode 392 of the Turnbuckle Throwbacks. It is January. I'm sorry. It's not July. Wishful thinking, actually.
Phil, I gotta cut you off really quick.
What's up, brother?
I got a special. I got a run in here. Come here.
Oh, all right. Oh, what's up? Oh,
I got Dylan here.
What up, Dill?
You here? Good. You good? Yeah. He wants to do the podcast one day.
Oh, absolutely.
I told him we're gonna have to watch like a WrestleMania or something, a big show.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yep. You gotta watch content in order to be on the show.
Yeah.
How old are you, Dylan?
9.
9.
He's 9 turning 14.
9 turning 14. Oh hell yeah.
So
yeah.
All right.
I got my son here too, but he's playing PlayStation, so you can't see him.
Oh yeah, see his son.
Oh, there he is. Say hi, Mike.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello and welcome.
Hello.
So, anyway. All right.
Anywho.
Thanks, Dylan. Dylan did a run in. All right. So you heard all the noise and stuff? Anyway, all right, we're live on the Rant EM Radio, part of the Shining Wizards Network, part of Dark Satellite Media. I'm Phil. That's Jay. Let's play Jay's music, shall we? Let's play Jay. Can we play Jay's music? I think we play Jay's music. Jay, can you hear the music? Hold on. Here it comes. No.
No.
You don't hear it?
Negative.
What the hell, man?
I heard Solomonster's thing.
How come it's not playing? It was just playing before.
Maybe because my audio's in.
Maybe. I don't know. That's stupid.
Either way.
That's stupid.
Listen, I still hear it in my head. That's all that matters.
You still hear it in your head, but anyway. All right. I don't know. Whatever. It was working the entire fucking time.
Yeah. Plagues. Nah, don't worry. These gremlins always plague us.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I want to try something. Hold on. Don't say. I'm going to mute your mic for a second. All right. Now I'm going to play this. Hold on a second. No. I don't understand. All right. Unmute it. Yeah. Jay, you there?
Yep. I hear it vaguely.
I don't understand, though. Hold on.
We snack on danger and we dine on death.
You heard
That I heard.
Why is Jay's muted, though? How come his music is muted? Hold on a second. Let me fix this. Oh, I know why. Hold on. I got it now. I
Just
got
one
it
of us
now.
knows.
Hold on. I got it. There we go.
There it is.
It's 8-bit. It's 8-bit Billy Gunn.
8-bit the one. It only works with the golf shot though.
Yeah, of course it does. I think I saw my cousin Richie in the chat room.
Anybody seen Richie?
Anybody? I don't see anybody else in the chat room right now, but Richie. Conspicuous by his absence, the pain in the ass, our resident pain in the ass, Mr. Mark Gassa.
Choppy's a pain in the ass.
Is stuck at work.
He's on assignment right now.
He's on assignment.
That's what we're gonna keep. You know what we got to do? You know how you had my spot call in
Yes.
for the end for the Christmas show.
Yes.
We're gonna have to have Choppy do that. We're gonna have to try to figure out a way to get Choppy to call in on assignment. Not doing nitro parties, of course. But he's just, you know,
he could be like our ghetto Lee Marshall. Is that it?
yeah. Like we'll have a pre-recorded message. We'll have Choppy record something on the way. You know, on his 3-hour commute from work, he'll record something in the car.
That's fantastic. Anyway, all right. Are you feeling better?
Yeah. So we took the COVID test last week, and obviously came back negative. Feeling a lot better. I definitely had a diesel cold, or as the Queen Tabor said, that us men can't be sick.
No, because we're babies.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit I'm a baby. And I'm happy. I'm happy with that.
But is the Queen okay? Everybody else is good.
The Queen's is okay. Yeah, we're all good right now. So we'll see. Hopefully, what the future brings. Hopefully, this stuff starts lightening up and what have you.
All right.
I don't know about eradicating a virus, but hopefully.
Oh, let's get a few thank yous out of the way. Let's thank Matt Spock for Matt Spock for calling in always and supporting us. I want to thank him. But I want to thank Ron Singh for giving us the Mark Merrow drop.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. And
I'm not gonna lie. I was as soon as I seen that, I said, "Holy shit, Mark Merrow!" That now, I don't know why, but I was just like, I mean, the Good Brothers one was awesome because it's contemporary, but man, the Mark Merrow one, that's a deep cut right there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ron Singh. I want to thank Jason Solomonster.
Yes. The
Solomonster, one of the best wrestling podcasts on the planet. I spoke to Jason earlier today. I haven't spoken to him in a minute, but we lost a very, very great human today. 86 years young, Mr. Henry Hammering Hank Aaron.
That's right.
The home run king, the only home run king. And he was a great man, great humanitarian. But more importantly, he was involved in wrestling for a little while. So, and ironically, Jason just recorded this before he passed away. And he even said to me, "It's kind of eerie, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's why I want to use it if you don't mind."
Yeah.
I mean,
that is kind of eerie.
It's public domain, but you know what? It's like podcast etiquette. Jason is a peer, and he's amazing at what he does.
Yeah.
So I don't want to play his shit and not give him any credit or ask. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank him very much for letting us use it. And Jason's always supported us. He actually gave us a drop on our 5th anniversary.
That's even
so
better,
so Jason's good people. I told him I want to have him on the show, so hopefully we get him on sometime.
I told you, and like I said, I've expressed it to you when we first started talking. Like Solomonster show is literally the longest pod. It's like one of the first podcasts I ever heard of off of TV tracks, off YouTube. If
Well, TV Track does Don Tony and Kevin Castle, and that's how I met Jason through Kevin Castle. So, 6 degrees of podcast separation. So,
and that's how I found out about him, and more or less kind of sparked my interest. And fast forward, here we are. So, Jason, that's a huge coup to you. Thanks for letting us use that.
Yes. Shout out to Mike Norangonga from the Midnight Jury and Shining Wizards Tony. They gave us new drops. We'll play them during the commercial break tonight.
Sweet.
And I want to also thank the Shining Wizards for putting me on to Manscaped. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this in front of my son, but my balls are fantastic. Oh hell yeah! I shaved my balls and they fail. And hi, Augie. Augie's joining us too tonight. But I got to tell you, they put me on to Manscaped. I bought the whole set. I got like free shipping, discounted. I'm like, let me just try it, dude. Let me tell you, I feel like a baby's ass. I'm telling you, man. And so, thank you. And if you go to Manscaped, I know we're not getting anything for you. Maybe we have to get them the sponsors, but the Wizards have a promotion over there.
Yeah, use the Wizards.
Type in Wizards, you get 20% off, free shipping, and on top of that, if you show them your receipt, you'll be put in the running for a Manscaped package with a free Kenny with a Kenny Omega fig from AEW.
Ooh.
So I'm in the running because I bought it and I shaved my balls. Yeah. So look, So go to shiningwizards.com or click on Manscaped and type in Wizards and do all the. And if you're a man, you want to get your balls shaved up. And they have like ball toner, ball polish, ball shampoo. You can wipe. Yeah, I'm telling you, I want to buy it just for the figs. You don't have to buy it. I already have the fig, but I want to buy another fig so we can open it and keep that one the way it is. Right? Exactly. See, I have a plan. I hope So I'm already entered in the contest. So hopefully I win. All right. So you're doing good. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. It's been a long week of work.
Yeah. Well, it was funny when I called you before. I was like, we'll do it remote again. I was literally wrist deep in my in my rear brakes of the car.
Yeah,
it was an old deal.
Yeah. So we So Jay, just for precautionary reasons, Jay is staying home tonight. There's a lot of a lot of stuff going on. And listen, I just got my second vaccination yesterday.
How do you feel?
Sore. My arm is sore. I wasn't sore from the first shot. It feels like, you ever get a flu shot?
No.
Okay. So the flu shot, when you get a shot in the arm with a flu shot, it normally it makes your arm like sore, like I punched your arm a couple of times, and you get like that for a day or two. Now, when I got the first shot, nothing happened, but the second shot, I feel like I got the flu shot. My arm's a little sore, but that's common.
Yeah.
But like I said, I wasn't gonna get it. We talked about this last week. I wasn't gonna get it, but I got it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy, and my mom, who'll be 66 in 2 months, she called me up. She was actually went to Florida, and we had a family emergency, so she went down to Florida with her husband, and she called me up, and she's like, now my uncle, she's talking to my uncle who's a paramedic firefighter in West Palm, and she's like, well, I spoke to Uncle Paulie, and he said I should take the shot, and she said, I told him I'm going to talk to my son. I said, Ma, I can't force you to get it, but I can tell you that, if you're 65 and over and you fit the geriatric molds, and I'll give you fucking geriatric, she says. If you fit the geriatric mold, you should be getting it, because she's not a stay-at-home person, my mom.
Yeah.
My mom gallivants like every day, dude. She's shopping. Mm-hmm. She goes to my sister's house and out east. She's constantly in the mall. She's constantly in the stores, doing her thing. She's very mobile. And I said, it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Blair, how are you, sweetie? Thank you for joining us tonight. So it's like, I worry about her, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, like you said, especially with that, where, and it's funny because like my parents are kind of like complete opposite. Like my dad still works. My mom still works every now and then. She's more or less taking care of my niece. That's pretty much her job now. But like but my dad is, not that he ever goes out, but during this stuff, it never really kind of stopped him per se, if that makes sense,
Oh, let's say hello to Shaylin. She's finally joining us. Hold on. Fuck you. That's right. That's right. Yes, I mean, and my stepdad got it really bad, the COVID. He was bad. and he's retired now too. But he's retired, but still has to work. My mom is bougie, so he has to keep up with her.
Yeah,
so still has to work even though he's retired. But yeah, my parents both had it, and she said when we get back, we'll talk about it some more. I'm like, yeah, because she called me last night to make sure I wasn't growing like an extra appendage or anything like that,
yeah.
So I said, well, it wasn't making my dick bigger, so we'll figure it out, So we'll figure out that nonsense, So
yeah,
yeah, all right. So we're gonna have a good time tonight. We got some news to talk about. We got Hammers in the house, and we got I don't know. It's like I said. So like we'll get back to Hank Aaron real quick.
I think you should. You're more of the baseball expert than I am. I remember one of the only things I remember about Hank Aaron, obviously funny enough, is his WCW appearances. Being that he was a part of Turner Sports and everything, they always used to parade him out of the limousines and everything. But and then he had a lot of play in the late '90s, early 2000s when Barry Bonds obviously was on his run.
Well, yeah, but the single season, right?
Yeah.
So Aaron still has the record, I believe. It's 755 home runs. The thing with Aaron was, though, from Mobile, Alabama, born February 5th, 1934, he came from like nothing, dude. He came from nothing, and it wasn't nothing came easy for him in terms of like, yeah, he hit all these home runs, but like he wasn't like amazingly gifted. Everybody forgets too. He had over 3,000 hits too. He had almost 3,100 hits.
Yeah, he wasn't just a home run guy.
No, he wasn't. So when he broke it in April of he broke Babe Ruth's record in April of '74, I want to say. It was a big deal because he was 13 years old when Jackie Robinson broke in, when they broke the color barrier in baseball. So that, basically he already had an incentive, and he was just a good fucking dude, man. Like you talk to anybody who was in contact with him, like, celebrities and regular people and sports people, like he was the most humblest, coolest dude on the planet. And he was a great ambassador for the game. Because when they finally got smart and broke the color barrier, and then last year they finally recognized the fucking Negro leagues as baseball league, as a legit baseball league. This kind of makes sense. We lost a ton of Hall of Famers in baseball the last couple of months, man. Jesus Christ. Don Sutton died last week. We lost Tom Seaver. We lost a ton of people. Tommy Lasorda died last week. A ton of people.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, so the whole thing with Hank Aaron and Bill Watts and all that, and I played it in the beginning. That's why I reached out to Solomonster because it was crazy how he just, and I saw the clip. And then when they announced it, I'm like, maybe I should, before I called you today, I was like, maybe I should fucking just see if it's still, and the clip was still online.
Yeah.
So I messaged Jay right away, Jason, and I said, could we do that? And whatever. But yeah, he was at Bash at the Beach. He was at
he was at a slam. Was it
Slamboree?
Slamboree.
He was at a bunch of shit, and he was like, he played 20. I want to say 23. Hold on, let me just pull up Baseball Reference again. Hold on a second. I believe he played 23 years. Hold on a second, Jay. He played from 54 to 76. Yeah, he played 23. He played 23 seasons, 21 in Atlanta, and 2 in Milwaukee. So he then he wound up living in Atlanta for the rest of his life, But he was a fucking cool dude, man.
Yeah, and like you said, especially when he played, and he was a great advocate for the game in and of itself.
He was.
He was African American, and he was just like you said, like the ambassador. I don't even know how to use it as a term, but like him being the ambassador towards the game, like to inner city kids was definitely something of note. I think he's probably more so known for that, in pop culture standards, with baseball diehards like yourself, like he'll just always be the home run king, but something like that where he transcended the game a little bit. And we're in that weird area now. Like you said, Tommy Lasorda last week, you said Steve earlier, late last year. Like we're in that area where all our idols and people that we grew up with, they're gonna start falling by the wayside, which is it's a weird feeling. It's a weird dichotomy because you never think of that type of stuff.
You're right, 100%. And on top of that, like, and especially in baseball, all of my heroes are, all of my like heroes from 20 years ago are now like coaches and managers and like, listen, I'm not a Yankee fan, but I grew up idolizing Don Mattingly, Mark McGwire, Keith. I grew up idolizing first basemen and catchers, right? But like Don Mattingly was my guy. I wore his number, I wore his number for hockey too because of Jeff Boogaboom, but I wore that number 23 because of him and Jeff Boogaboom. But just see Donnie baseball now as a manager. I mean, it's sad that he has to manage against my Mets, 19 times a year, but seeing him in that role and mentoring these young Marlins, it's like learning under Joe Torre. I tell you, he was definitely one of my heroes, and just seeing these guys now, all like Boone was one of my guys. I liked him. He's the manager now. A lot of guys I grew up watching are like coaches or scouts or general managers. Is one guy, Sammy Fold, Slam and Sammy. He's the general manager of like Oakland. I don't know if it's Oakland or I forget who. I think Philadelphia. But like it's so weird seeing these guys in that role,
Yep.
But Hank Aaron, again, I didn't get to see Hank Aaron play. My friend Gobi saw him in '69 at Shea Stadium, hit a home run against the Mets. So what's that, Hammer? What's the matter? He said 69. Anything naughty is funny to a 13-year-old. I forgot.
Well, it was funny. We said that my girl's son was watching something on his iPad or whatever, and he's laughing like a little schoolgirl. I was like, "What do you think he's watching?" Right away, she said the same thing, something perverted, because he was laughing like a little schoolgirl.
Yeah, it's like I remember just being that age and just everything was funny. Like everything was funny, and I didn't give a shit. And it was like, you think it's funny? Yeah, it is funny. It is funny, But so Hank Aaron, 86 years young, passed away. But he was an ambassador to the game. He was an ambassador to pro wrestling in the South. He was an ambassador to Atlanta, Georgia, TBS, the Superstation. He was best friends with Bud Selig, the former commissioner. And I love this quote. He said, and I quote, he said, "I can't believe a black kid from Mobile, Alabama became the home run king, and a Jewish kid from Milwaukee became baseball commissioner."
Yes.
And they've been best friends. And, and Hal Reynolds said it best on MLB. He's like, that it's not even about color anymore. It's about the relationships. And that's why one of the reasons why I love doing this podcast too, is because we met so many people from all different walks of life, all different races and colors and creeds from all different parts of the world. And it's so fucking cool that we all have this common love for wrestling. And that's how it is with baseball. With baseball, when they started integrating blacks and Hispanics, and I mean, Hispanics dominate fucking baseball for the last 35 years now, and it's like that. There's a reason for that because they're fucking amazing players. But, he came from the segregated South. Like he said, he remembers his mom, the Ku Klux Klan would come down his block and she'd be like, go under the bed, hide under the bed, So he and then when he made the big clubs, he still couldn't, when they sent him to Jacksonville for the minor league teams, he still couldn't use the fucking bathrooms his teammates used.
Yep.
And he's seen everything. He saw MLK assassination, Kennedy's assassination, Malcolm X, the civil rights movement. He's seen so much in his lifetime and still had the courage to get up and go play baseball and be an ambassador to the game and go watch wrestling matches in the dirty, segregated South when it was still racist in fucking 80s and 90s, wearing the stars and bars everywhere, especially Michael Hayes on his face, with the face paint. But I digress. The thing is, though, with that is it just shows the measure of the man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that is missing from this planet now, between social media and this fucking cancel culture and like all this bullshit. What saves us from, and listen, our 46th president was inaugurated on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Our second Catholic one. I didn't even know that. That was a weird fact that I found out. I thought we had more than he's only the second Catholic to be president.
Really?
Isn't that fascinating? And
what was the Protestant was the old
I guess Protestant
like
and
back in the day or whatever.
I guess Baptist. I guess Jimmy Carter was all the Southern guys had to be Baptists. So
I gotta look more into that. That's something.
That's crazy, right? And no one
with
was
Mott Spock. That's a conspiracy theory waiting to happen. Why is this? Who let this Catholic in?
Who let this the second Catholic in? And on top of that, like no one was worried. Everybody was like, well, no one complained about the ceremony except for Bernie Sanders sitting there with his mittens on, and it became a phenomenon. I've been getting memes all fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
The best memes I got were him on the Black Sabbath cover, the first Black Sabbath cover from February, which is, by the way, I think it's 50 years old. Yeah, almost 50 years old last year. Came out February 13th.
Yep.
And then him on a dating game. Him with him and Kevin Smith from Clerks.
Sometimes I hate the internet and social media for what it does, but man, sometimes it wins so hard.
Yeah, Shaylin. Yeah, Shaylin. I'm with Hamlin. He sees your hello. He's in the chat room as well. And then there's another one I got another one with him, with Dorothy from Wizard of Oz looking out the window, and him in the tornado. That was pretty funny. Another one I got was him sitting in Will Smith's chair from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Bernie. So it took that to break up the monotony of all the bullshit,
Yeah.
It just goes to show what society deems funny now, yeah, I mean, so it is what it is. I'm hoping that people take some life lessons from the passing of Hank Aaron and look him up and see all his contributions to baseball and to society. So
without a doubt.
And to pro wrestling. So listen to the first 10 minutes of this podcast when you get a download.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is a wrestling podcast. Are you working tonight or are you working tomorrow?
I'm working tomorrow, thank God.
Working tomorrow. Okay. All right. So we'll get done as soon as possible then.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Where do you want to go first?
Let's go. I don't know. You know what? I feel like I always pick. Yeah. You know what? Let's go with NXT. Why not NXT?
All right. So yeah, I got to see NXT this morning.
Yeah.
I was very intrigued with the whole Finn Balor, Pete Dunne thing.
I love it. I love Pete Dunne deserves where he is right now. And although I think it's a little early to take the belt off Balor, I think that's just because I'm just a huge Balor fan. Nonetheless, I'm interested to see where this goes.
As am I. Karrion Kross wrestled again this week. He beat up some jobber, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
Funsies. Gargano and Austin Theory advanced in the Dusty Rhodes tournament. They're having a girls tournament, which is pretty cool. I saw the
I like that too. And kudos to WWE. They're gonna start having women on the 205 Live, which not a bad idea, but you can't you call a woman 205 Live. Like, I don't understand, aren't all women mostly 205 Live?
I've only watched like the debut episode or maybe like 5. I can count on my hand how many times I've watched 205 Live, and not because I don't want to. I just keep forgetting. There's so much going on.
I've said it from day one. We're almost at the point where there's too much content.
Yeah, absolutely.
And NXT, I enjoyed it. I like I said, I liked the opening match, the tag match, Kushida
and Leon Ruff.
Oh, I always want to call him Cheeseburger from
Cheeseburger.
I always want to call him Cheeseburger.
Remember Cheeseburger?
Yeah,
I love Cheeseburger.
Yeah. I always called him Cheeseburger, but against Gargano and Austin Theory. Whatchamacallit? And this is the first time that Beth Phoenix is in the COVID Coliseum, as Solomonster calls it.
The COVID Coliseum.
COVID Coliseum.
Beth Phoenix making her return as Jay drinks his Broken Skull Ranch fucking IPAs.
Oh yeah.
What?
I walked in. I was like, "Hey, you got any Broken Skull Ranch?" He goes, "Oh, you're in luck. We just got a delivery." I said, "Great. I'll take a case."
I'll take a case, he says. You better bring me one your next visit.
Yeah, I'll bring one.
You're speaking of Stone Cold. Hammer's never seen Stone Cold ET.
Oh. That stuff is so good.
I just introduced him to Stone Cold ET.
What?
What? I'm just trying to get some White Castle hamburgers. What? Fucking get that empty can off my fucking couch, you animal.
Oh, there you go.
Clean up your mess. Fucking teenagers, right?
Yeah, you can't deal with it.
I'm gonna super kick this kid in the face with my Tommy Dreamer sweatpants.
But yeah, I enjoyed the opening match, and I tell you, I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised by the outcome. Kushida and Leon Ruff with the win.
No, Gargano and Theory won. Gordon.
No, they won. No,
they lost, right? They lost, right? Yeah.
Yeah, look, I was surprised. I was surprised to see that. I thought for some reason, as soon as I found out that they were teaming, I was like, oh, they're gonna win somehow because you're gonna. How else do you establish Johnny Gargano's heel reign? Obviously, he's a North American champ, but I just feel like for some reason he's not a good. Not that he's not a good heel, but he's such a better babyface.
Who, Gargano?
Yeah. I don't know.
Kushida better change his fucking gear too. Kushida pin Gargano, correct? Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I meant to say that. I'm just like I'm doing this shit from memory. I didn't pull up the results.
Yeah.
I did the pit match with the fucking UFC Ciampa and fucking Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah,
interesting. I'm not into the whole fucking. It was like the Ken Shamrock stuff back in the day. It's like, all right, I get it.
I like it. I like I said, especially the way that it goes, like to have that match, and you can't have it all the time, but not for nothing, man, but Thatcher needed that win. And
did he really?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. I think he was on what seemed to me at least was a little bit of a losing streak of some sort.
The Lions Den. That's right. The Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
Was it didn't he fight Owen Hart in one of those?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so my memory's not that sharp.
I think he fought him once there, and then they did remember the dungeon match they had too? Was it Shamrock in the dungeon match?
I want to say yeah. I don't want to like be I'm doing it by memory.
Like you said, by memory, but I'm pretty sure there was a dungeon match too.
Yeah.
But I think Thatcher needed it. It just unbelievably stiff, like in just every good way of how that's supposed to be. So to me, I enjoyed the match a lot. So I think for all intents and purposes, that was definitely the match of the night for NXT. I think.
What do you think of Alexander Wolf coming back to Imperium?
Love it.
Yeah,
love it. Especially. I forget what was he out with. I forget what he was out with.
I don't remember. He might have been sick or he just couldn't come over because of restrictions. I'm not sure.
Oh, that might have been it too. I thought he was out hurt.
He might have been injured.
He was out hurt from last year, I think. Remember that wasn't it last year?
Yeah.
During the War Games.
He did have the weapons match with Steve Blackman. That's right, yes. Gordon. Thank you. Who doesn't love Steve Blackman? We love Steve Blackman on the show, by the way.
But yeah, I did, and another surprising loss. Lucha House Party beating Imperium. I cannot believe that.
It's an underdog tournament.
Yeah, and I guess listen, Lucha House Party is they've been around for a while, and yeah, you can make the argument that they need something, but when you're painted with the jobber colors, it's hard to get that off of you sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
But otherwise, I thought NXT was good. Obviously your girl, what was her name? The Ninja Warrior girl, Casey Catanzaro.
Yeah, she teamed up with what's her face, Kayla, whatever.
Kaden Carter. Defeated Tony Storm. I couldn't believe it.
Tony Storm has a big fat shit locker. She's tasty, huh?
Juice Robinson is one lucky fella, man.
That's right. He is smashing that. You mentioned that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
God bless him, man. Juice Robinson smashing that, huh? God bless him. Yeah.
But to me, I enjoyed that match too.
Are we keeping you up, brother? Are we keeping you up or what?
No, I'm sorry. I was holding in a sneeze, actually. That was me holding in a sneeze. You kidding? I got a case full of Broken Skull IPAs.
What?
I can go.
Oh hell yeah!
But yeah, I thought NXT was good. If we're doing a side by side, I know, I don't know what the ratings numbers were, and I don't care
don't
that
care.
much to look. Yeah, I don't care that much to look. But I enjoyed AEW a lot. Although I feel like as the weeks go, I enjoyed AEW as a show, as a standalone show. But I find myself questioning more and more what's going on. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, let's get into it.
yeah, I can't see where the booking is going.
Could we start
And
off with Sting? I mean, can we?
that's what I mean. And we know where it's going. It's going into some sort of a what do they call that? Like the edited match. Oh my god, I can't think. Like theatrical, like a theatrical match. They're gonna go with that. That's the only way that you could book, Sting into doing something. But you mean to tell me you're gonna have a 62-year-old Sting? I don't even know if he's 62, but 59, whatever he is, teaming with a young Darby Allin to go against Brian Cage, and who's he going to be paired off with? Ricky Starks. You know what I mean? Like Taz's son Hook.
Yeah, I can't. I don't care if it's cinematic or not. I don't give a shit.
I
don't want to see Sting in that role, dude. I don't care. I really don't care. It just doesn't. Him supporting Darby Allin, I get it. Him fighting Team Taz. Taz cut a great promo. I like that. Obviously,
God,
Taz is always top notch on the microphone. Anyway,
and he's getting. I'm telling you, especially as a veteran of the business, like he is starting to really step it up on the mic. He's always been good. I always like it. I actually really always enjoyed his commentary. I was actually a big Taz fan, let alone as a wrestler. But even his commentary, I thought was really, really good too. And because he's funny, I used to love his podcast. I think Taz is like hilarious, but when he's fucking serious, Taz, there's nobody better.
Yeah, I come from the streets, brother. Anyway, yeah, I don't like it. I'm sorry, and I love Sting, and I'm sorry.
I love Sting.
Harry, if you're listening, I know Harry's a big Sting mark as well. I know Lee Champion, another big Sting mark. I love Sting too, but like I don't want to see 62-year-old Sting in the fucking ring, man. I don't want to see it. Especially after his last match with Rollins. Or Triple H. I don't want to see it.
I think that's probably part of the reason too.
Rollins the last one? Yeah.
Rollins was the last one. That's probably part of the reason that he doesn't want to end it that way. And we can because I wanted to talk about it anyway, but it's making me think about it. Was Taker was on Joe Rogan's podcast this past week.
And yeah. Oh, you want to get into that? You want to get into
yeah, I just want to just transition really quick.
Okay.
There was really nothing of note. He's first off, I love the fact that he's doing all this stuff. This is taken away. And to me, in a good way, it's taken away the mystique. This is what we wanted as fans, because we know what Taker was backstage. Like now we get to hear him up front talk about it. And, he was very humble, and Texas guy. So, they were talking about it. Joe Rogan just moved to Texas and whatnot. But
of course he did.
He was
I wonder why.
Yeah, he was talking. So what made me think of it was Taker was talking about his last match, and he said the reason why he went out on the cinematic one with AJ Styles, the Boneyard match, was that he just said, he goes, in his mind, and I'm paraphrasing, in his mind, that it wasn't going to get much better than that, because his heart was still in it. His heart's still in it 100%. His head's still in it, but his body's just not reacting the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
Which, listen, when you got those years and miles on you, it makes sense. And the same could be said for Sting. There's the way that with that match with Rollins, like, I don't think anybody's to blame. Everybody wants to blame Rollins for the buckle bomb. And
no, I'm not blaming anybody. No,
you can make the argument. You can definitely make
the argument.
listen, Sting should not be taking no buckle bomb. You could definitely make that argument. There's, but in the same sense, how many bumps has Sting taken in his whole entire career that, he doesn't need to be doing much. So, like you said, I second that. I don't want to see Sting. I don't need to see Sting in the ring, but here we are. I mean, they're gonna have to edit it some crazy way. Maybe listen, Sting's got face paint. You could do the easiest, stuntman, and we may be none the wiser.
Before we finish AW, I want to just piggyback on your Taker thing real quick because I didn't listen to it yet. I downloaded it. I downloaded it. I didn't hear it yet because Joe Rogan's podcast was like 3 hours at a clip. So
yeah, and he was on for a good 2.5. I think.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. But I want to talk. The marks tore him apart, man, on the fucking internet because apparently he made a comment about the direction of WWE. And how he didn't like the way what they were doing, how they do things, and blah blah blah.
He called the product soft.
Right. So guys, do me a favor, and I'm gonna give me 1 second. Yeah, do me a favor. Sit down, Marks. That's what I'm saying. Shut the fuck up.
Well, how about let's look at it from Taker's point of view. How else are you going to do better? Or
listen, the dude earned the right to say whatever he wants. First of all, it's a free country. First of all, it depends on who you talk to, right? Yeah. First of all, second of all, he earned that right as a performer. He spent 30 years with that company, and over 30, and like it's not even like if he hasn't let him. Who cares if he thinks it's soft? Everybody thinks it's soft. You have to pick and choose what you want. I mean, we're going to preview the Rumble for next week, next Friday. We're doing the 91 Rumble tonight as a throwback. But next week's Rumble, interesting storylines. We talked about it off air already. We talked about it last week too. But you have to. Usually, we get excited around this time because it's fucking WrestleMania season. You know.
And like I said, you can make the argument now because, like you said, because of what's going on, COVID and all this stuff. So that may have taken a little bit of the luster out, but who's to say that Taker's not trying to light a fire under their ass? Like, hey, listen, you motherfuckers, like, I know what you guys go through. Now you guys should be stepping your game up, and that's what that means. That's how I would take it. That's how I took it.
Your boy Mike Miller's checking in. What's up, Mikey?
What's up, Mikey?
Mr.
He's probably missing me not being in Manhattan anymore, although I never really seen him on.
I think Mike should come in every Friday night and abuse you.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I hope he does. Trophy Horse Podcast, by the way, cheap plug.
But like I said, and it's just like these pussies, these keyboard warriors, talking all this, saying all this stuff because, like, you know what, dude, taking in his old school mentality. He's the one that always saying that he has that. He's the last of a dying breed. He bridges that gap.
Fucking twat waffles.
The Bruiser Brodies to now. He's bridging that gap where like he just maybe just trying to like it's tough love. Step your shit up. You guys are boring me. Yeah, I'm the fucking Undertaker. Like I've done everything in this business. You're fucking up right now. That's how it should be taken.
So just guys, sit down, all right? Do me a favor and sit down. Sit down, Marks! That's what I'm saying.
I love that.
All right, get back to AEW.
And like you said, with the Sting stuff, unless they pull a last second swerve or whatever, but I don't know, man. I don't see it.
Yeah, and the whole Young Bucks thing with what's his face with Don Callis. Funny, yeah, but like where are they going with it? Like is Kenny gonna be like, oh look, is he be like the best friend thing where the best friend goes with the other guy and he befriends him and finds out he's playing him dirty and then go? I mean, listen, Kenny Omega's already gone full heel.
Yeah,
went into another company with their fucking title. You know what I'm saying? So
I think this is the way to get the Bucks. Bucks were heels when they won when they won the belts. I guess this is the way to get them to come baby faces.
That's the only thing I can think of, Jay. It's the only reason I can think of them doing it. What else? I mean, everything. I mean, AEW was good. Cody had a good match.
Well, like I said, I like Cody's match. Listen, I like that guy Avalon anyway.
Yeah. The great
librarian.
Yeah, the great value Rick Rude.
Yes, great value Rick Rude. I like the inner circle going against each other. I kind of like that. I mean, liked it too because they had Sammy Hagar telling the viewers that it was his favorite tag team. So
Yeah,
Chris Jericho and MJF.
Anytime I get to see what do you call it, Santana and Ortiz wrestle, it's a treat.
Yeah.
I like those guys.
I think that's the whole thing with AEW, man, is that they have so much talent. And
yeah,
I don't know. Obviously, they have AEW Dark. I try to catch it whenever I can.
I don't watch it.
Yeah, you think it'd be easier, but we're so regimented with our wrestling intake. Like,
Yeah, we are.
I don't watch stuff. I don't really watch much stuff live per se, but some of this stuff is kind of like you just go, I ain't got time for this.
Yeah, I mean my attention span with the booking there is like, there are nights where they're brilliant, and then there are nights there are nights like where you're scratching your head like, going, what are they doing with these guys? Like, they have all these tag teams. Like, what's going on, man? Like, let's get some good matches.
They got new tag teams coming in, Top Flight, who coming in with some steam. And
yeah, like they didn't make it a split. I mean, they got the Acclaimed, our boy Anthony Bowens, our boy Anthony, who we got to see last year at the Wizards party.
Yep.
Anthony Bowens is killing it. They got merch now. Him and his partner got merch, and they're good. They're killing it. What else? I mean, again, it's I don't know. It's so weird seeing them. Like,
I agree.
Doing this booking like the way they do,
But it's also it's because like you look at it and you just go, not that you're running out of ideas, but are you just putting more steam? And it's probably been like this a whole entire life, and now we're just choosing to shine a light on it. Is that some storylines are getting more love than the others? Like, you just kind of go, why are you gonna go? Which one? One's gonna get a little bit more love. Like you said, Kenny Omega's getting stuff in his quote unquote home and all his stuff. Like, I actually kind of dug it. I think that's actually kind of cool in the same sense. But and some of the stuff where you just go, oh, like you have Joey Janela. Like, I love Joey Janela. I think has so much potential that he possibly cannot live up to in this place. I don't know. At least I don't see it.
Yeah, the whole Hangman Page, Dark Order thing, he broke away from them finally. Like, again, like, there were times where they're brilliant, and there are times where just like it's so inconsistent that I feel like they're like on a paw they had their finger on the trigger button on the red button. Like, should I launch this? Should I launch it? Should I move this? Should I move that? Like, it's not. It doesn't flow all the time, Jay. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. But I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely. I'm intrigued by Omega and the Bucks. I'm intrigued by Page. I love Page. I think he's the future of the company.
Yeah.
Jericho's killing it. I want to see Santana, and I agree with Choppy. Santana and Ortiz should be breaking away from those guys and doing their thing.
I think this was they would. I don't think they were testing the waters per se, but I think they were just trying something where, what else to do with the inner circle. This is the only thing they haven't done with the inner circle yet, is go against each other. So they're teasing it. Jericho face turn is just imminent at this point.
Sammy Guevara is a star.
Yes.
MJF is a star.
MJF and Sammy Guevara should never be a babyface, in my opinion.
Correct.
Ever in their career, they never have to be a babyface.
And if they do that, it's got to be like a championship title run. It's got to be something significant to make them face wrestlers. I agree 100%. 100%. I agree. What else is going on? Anything else of note?
Moxley fought like a jobber guy. And,
Johnny Moxley. Yeah.
Not that he's laying dormant. I don't know if that's right. If that's the right word to say, but there's stuff going on there that, I don't know. It's just, to me, wrestling wise, I love the wrestling in AEW, but man, the storylines are just, it's not I'm not saying they're not delivering on their promises, but man, it's not what I initially thought it was going to be. So we'll see. Hopefully in the coming weeks, things come together. We got to keep reminding each other that we are in unprecedented times. With this COVID stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I have a positive outlook, I should say.
I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
I'm glad you do. New Japan's killing it. The New Beginning tour is the next. I think their next card is January 30th, which is next weekend. And I think the main event is going to be Tanahashi fighting Takagi for the openweight title. So, and Will Ospreay and his crew took out Tenzan, so they're probably they're doing individual matches with them, with Kojima and Tenzan. And then they got a bunch of 8-man tag. They got a Bullet Club against was that Chaos? So I mean, it's moving along. They got let me see here, and then Lions Break is tonight. What's tonight's lineup? Let's see. Tonight's lineup is Chris Dickinson fighting? No, Brody King's fighting Kratos.
Ooh.
So and Ren Narita's fighting Bateman. Bateman's the dude from Ring of Honor. He's Vinny Marsaglia's partner.
Okay.
The Regal Boys are fighting Kevin Knight and Clearwater, and there's only 3 matches. So is Dickinson fighting next week? I hope Dickinson's fighting again next January 29th. Let's see anything here. Rocky Romero. Oh yeah, Rocky Romero's fighting Chris Dickinson next week. Woo!
There we go.
Yeah, bitches. Leo Rush taking on Hikuleo.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Leo Rush is now with them.
Yeah, and then Fred Rosser, Black Cena.
Mhm.
Oh, Black Cena, damn Lamba. Oh, Black Cena was a man. Anyway, he's teaming up with TJP and Leo Rush. They're taking on Hikuleo, El Phantasmo, and Kenta. That's the main event next week. So New Japan is doing some big shit, buddy.
Yes.
Big shit indeed.
And like I said, this is especially, Leo Rush, and this is the California one, right?
This is New Japan. Yeah, New Japan Strong. This is who what's his face is running it. Shibata.
Hopefully, hopefully this is big things. 2021, with all this stuff going on, is big things for the Dirty Daddy. He needs this is his breakout year, I think, right here. So
just to see him in a New Japan ring, was fucking awesome.
Yep.
He went from sitting in my apartment, sitting in my house 5 years ago, to being in fucking New Japan. It's crazy, right? It's crazy what 5 years does. It's crazy, insane the membrane. Anything else before we go to break?
WrestleMania, the next 3 years of WrestleMania were announced. I don't think there's any surprises to anybody, right?
No, Tampa this year, and they're gonna let fans in apparently,
which is good news. And listen, we always say this about WWE. The product is always sketchy at best. Sometimes SmackDown is head and shoulders the better show. But they're doing things unbelievably smart this year, in a sense of they're letting the Super Bowl go first.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl, and they're letting people in for that, like first responders and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
The Super Bowl's going first. They're letting WWE is going to have people come in. I think this is going to be good. I think, hopefully this is the start of, things to come. And, there may be nothing wrong with, maybe come the summer, maybe they do some house shows, maybe outdoor house shows. You know what I mean? Like they could get the ball rolling that way.
Let me just put a public service announcement out to the state of Florida. Don't fuck this up. Wear your mask, social distance, and don't fucking ruin it. Because if this is the start of outdoor shit, then I can get my baseball back, and like you said, we can get wrestling back, and anything outdoors that involves a crowd, maybe a concert one of these days. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we like to do, extracurricular. Florida, don't fuck this up.
This kind of hinges a little bit on that, which is,
The world is watching, you idiots. Don't fuck this up. You know, the state of Florida is not very bright.
Yeah. So this year is Tampa. Next year is Dallas.
And then Cali.
And then Hollywood. WrestleMania from Hollywood. Listen, say what you want, man. People, I follow the stock market very, very smallly, in a small amount, and this stock is, after the announcement, stock went up. Investors are enjoying what's going on right now. So I think business is in a good area. I think there's a good chance that things can go forward with this. So who's to say? I think this is such good news. I thought they were going to try to get people in for Royal Rumble, but I think for the E to wait to WrestleMania, I think there's nothing better for them to do than to do that.
Yeah. So like I said, Florida, don't fuck this up. Everybody's watching you now. Okay. Thank you, drive through. Anything else?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, they made a slight change for the Royal Rumble match, with Roman Reigns, obviously not against Adam Pearce.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Oh, okay. All right.
Shaylen broke that for us in the chat.
We cleared that. Yeah. All right,
we cleared that.
Wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
I should have. There's no kids in here. I should have SmackDown on behind me, but I forgot.
Yeah, I watched one match before I logged in with you. I watched Charlotte and Asuka against the Riot Squad. I didn't know Billy Kay was.
They remembered that they were a team.
Yeah, and then Daniel Bryan cut a "I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble" promo. So,
well, listen, Royal Rumble's what, 2 weeks, a week and a half away. What are we? It's 31st, right?
Next week, yeah, next Sunday.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll preview it next week.
I'm about to say really quick. We got like another minute or so. Quick predictions. I think Daniel Bryan might win this. My
son just said no. Who's winning the Rumble then, kid? Who is? So you don't know who's gonna win it. You don't have take a guess. I want to say Bray Wyatt.
Ooh.
I want to say Bray Wyatt.
That's a left field one.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. I can't see anybody else strong enough to. Huh? Dwayne, The Rock? Nah, I don't see The Rock coming in and doing that.
Well, what sucks if Daniel Bryan were to win it would be it's 5 years too late, 6 years too late. Like,
and
do we want
the underdog match again at Mania, like he fought Triple H? And then my son just said, if The Rock comes back, does he fight? He gets to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. But that's the thing, though. You're gonna put the belt on Rock? I wouldn't put the belt on Rock. He hasn't been there. It's like doesn't. It makes
no. If we do get a Rock Roman match,
it won't be
Rock's,
the main event.
Rock's doing the honest. It should not be the Roman. Listen, everybody.
It'll be the Raw title for the main event then. Who wins the Rumble's gonna challenge for the Raw title?
Yeah. If it was Rock against Roman Reigns, Rock's definitely doing the honors, without a doubt. I would say
Goldberg's not fighting, no. No, he's not. He's not. Drew McIntyre's got the COVID. He's coming back.
He's coming back. Yeah, he's back. He's
so McIntyre's still fighting Goldberg next week.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking atrocious.
Well, listen. I know we've been putting over Solomonster hard this week, but why not? He deserves it. He has the best. If you listen to his show, it comes out new every Sunday. He has the best booking of it. He goes, you have the match be 8 minutes long. Let Drew McIntyre kick out of the spear, and then all of a sudden, Claymore to Goldberg. Let Goldberg get one kick out of it. Let Goldberg go for the spear again. Claymore for the win. I think that's all you need. The match don't need to be long.
Hey, Will Sweeney's checking in. Who's the female SmackDown referee? Do we know her name?
No.
Golf Bill Will, looks on Google. I'm doing a podcast, fuck stick.
No. Offhand, no. It was funny. I was just getting ready to say Aubrey Edwards, but that's AEW.
No. I'm sorry, Jay. So Solomonster says what? They kick out both out of finishes, and what happens?
Yeah, you give Goldberg, give him a kick out of a Claymore. I mean, Brock Lesnar's already kicked out of it, so it's the protection on it for the big stars don't need to be there. So let Goldberg kick out of it. Goldberg hits him with a spear. McIntyre kicks out. The second time he goes for the spear, boom, Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Match doesn't need to be longer than 8 minutes. That's
with
what I would say.
McIntyre going over, you mean? Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Please,
yes. He has to go.
I can't see McIntyre beating
No.
all these. I can't see him beating all the big dogs.
Well,
last half a year.
Goldberg is, in my opinion, the way I looked at it, Goldberg's positioned as the heel here. So
it doesn't matter though. Like it would take away all the credibility that they built Drew up for. He beats Brock at Mania. He beats Roman. He beats Randy Orton. He beats Kevin Owens. He beats Seth Rollins. He beats everybody the last year, the last 11 to 10 months. And what the fuck? Like you're gonna have him job to Oldberg? Like it's not feasible, dude. It's not even. I'm sorry if they.
I agree.
So yeah, I'll piggyback on Solomonster's theory. I like that. Let him go 8 minutes and let them kick out his finishes, and then he finishes Oldberg and sends him home again to his classic collection.
I agree.
So, all right. Anything else?
No, that's it, brother.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. We'll plug our friends. We have some new plugs, and I want to play a clip from the tonight's throwback. All right. So
I'll
mute we'll mute the mics. We'll listen to Turnbuckle Throwbacks. We're live on the rant. January 22nd, not July. Thank you. Not July. We'll be right back. What Alfred Hayes, take us away.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Everyone knows a lot of things can change in the span of 10 years. But when it comes to professional wrestling podcasting, one thing is still guaranteed. The Shining Wizards is the only place to get all the latest wrestling news, interviews with the greatest guests, and of course, tons of laughs in discussing the world of wrestling. The show is still available on Monday nights at 7 p.m. East on rantemradio.com and Rant Entertainment Media on the TuneIn app. And it's still available on all podcasting platforms. To check us out, head over to shiningwizards.com, where it's still wrestling talk and talk about wrestling.
In a world where Hollywood tries to tell you how to live while doing the exact opposite, where fresh ideas are tossed away for a cash grab reboot, where the media has become nothing but propaganda and freedom is traded for what they tell you is security and safety, there is Inconclusive Breakdown. Your weekly look at current events and entertainment with no political correct BS. Just news and uncensored opinions everywhere you get podcasts. A proud member of the Shining Wizards Network.
Tired of the PC police telling you what you can and cannot say? Want a show that travels back to the 80s and 90s, where the badass hosts have beaten down cancel culture on 3 separate occasions and carried on to gloat about it? Since 2013, the Midnight Jury is that show. Travel back to the malls and arcades, pop in your VHS, and join us where the 80s and 90s return from the dead. Conan, tell them where to find us.
WLWstudios.com, home of the Midnight Jury podcast, hosted by Midnight Mike and Calvin Brody.
Also available on all major podcast platforms via the Shining Wizards Network, and join in the conversation on Twitter at Midnight Jury.
Hi, I'm Harvey Whippleman, and you're listening to the Turnbuckle Throwbacks with Phil and Jay, and that pain in the ass Choppy.
9 men to think they are ready for the Royal Rumble, but yet there is only one. Me. I'm cold, brother. Ice water running through the veins, man, to get to you.
In the Royal Rumble!
For the earthquake, but I'm ready, so bring them all on. Hogan, I've got something special. Just other men that I have to worry about. Well, that's fine. That's right up my WWF Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble, number 1. but when the clouds go dark and the tornado comes here. If life is like a roller coaster, it's every man for himself. And Hawk, remember, these guys, oh, what a rush.
The 29 opponents, and the only thing, the other 29.
In peace. The arena, the Royal Rumble, 30 top professional WWE. I'm going to sit in the corner, and if something comes next to me, I'm knocking it off.
But how you look doing it. You know, I know the way things look for you lately. You need a little guidance.
The Royal Rumble, every man for himself. 30 of the greatest athletes in the World Wrestling Federation in the Royal Rumble. Mr. Perfect, Intercontinental Champion. This is what makes me has ever produced. I will win the Royal Rumble.
Perfect. And for himself, and the old tugboat is going to jump right into... I don't know if I can take.
All right, we're back.
We are back. Is there any better music than that?
Oh, no. I want to apologize for that clip I played. For some reason, it's just started to skip on its own. So thank you, technology, for fucking failing me again.
As usual.
As usual. Anyway, you got the idea. We're back. Turnbuckle Throwbacks. We're live on the Rant EM Radio, Rant Entertainment Media, part of the Shining Wizards Network, part of Dark Satellite Media. It's Phil. It's Jay. It's not Choppy. He's
non-choppy.
He's on location.
He's on location. He's on assignment.
He's on assignment. No, let me get this out of here. Okay. All right. Let's where are we here? Where is my throwback of the week gimmick? All right. Are you ready, brother?
Yes.
All right. And hello, computer. This is fucking ridiculous, man.
Computer, activate.
I can't win tonight.
There it is.
And now, here is your throwback of the week, sponsored by the Shining Wizards Network and Rant EM Radio.
All right, Jay. This is 1991 from the Miami Arena. It's the fourth annual Royal Rumble. Let me pull up my notes here.
I tell you, impressive buys at this point. You know, I know business wasn't all the greatest. I guess it's on the tail end of this. We talked about the Warrior project that they had going on, and clearly at this stage, it was, you know, they knew what direction they were going into. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see because of you can tell by Survivor Series where they were going. Obviously past eyes, because, you know, Warrior was just not drawing as well as, you know, they hope, I should say.
All right. Well, 16,000 paid. January 19th, 1991, the tagline was friend versus friend, foe versus foe. It's every man for himself. It's the Survivor Series.
And an impressive buy rate, 440,000 people.
For 1991, correct.
That's impressive.
Before we get into it, there was a dark match, Jay.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So the reason why we didn't see both Nasty Boys in the Rumble was because Jerry Saggs fought in a dark match against Sam Houston.
Sam Houston, the half brother of Jake
the Snake Roberts, correct, and Rockin' Robin.
Yep,
correct.
Which there was. I mean, we'll talk about the being able to talk about the Nasty Boys now, but it was an impressive spot where Brian Knobbs came in, and there must have been 10, 12 fucking heads inside that ring. They all gunned at Knobbs. Like, definitely Knobbs pissed somebody off at the bar days prior, and they go, "Oh, we're gonna get you in the Rumble," because it looked like a half shoot in there.
All right, let's talk about what's the opening match, Jay? The opening match.
Opening match was the Rockers against the Orient Express. It's a different time, guys. 1991.
And by the way, the new Orient Express.
Yes, that's right.
Now we have Kato, who replaced Sato.
Yep.
And Kato is Thomas Boric, aka Paul Diamond.
Yep.
AKA who else did he play? He was
Max
also
Moon.
Max Moon for like 5 minutes, right?
I tell you, Paul Diamond in shape. I mean, definitely wink, no steroids at all.
Well, Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka, no strangers to each other. They were also called Bad Company.
Bad Company.
Who
back
also
in the AWA.
who feuded with the Midnight Rockers.
Yep.
And they were managed by Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah.
You know, and let me tell you something, man. This match went almost 20 minutes.
Yep.
And it was a good, solid tag team match.
This was for a tag team match. This was obviously, this is just how wrestling was. This is, and it's a shame that Vince never really put the emphasis on tag team wrestling, because this was good tag wrestling.
I want to disagree. I think he did put a lot of emphasis on tag teams between.
I don't think so.
Between 87 and 86, 87 to like 90. A lot of great fucking tag teams in WWE.
Without a doubt, he featured them, but he didn't shine the light on them. Like, you know, you had the Rockers, and they had a really good run. You had the British Bulldogs, they had a really good run. You know, On and Tully, they had a really, like, everybody had a good run, but they was towards the mid 90s at this point. He's not paying. Maybe, like I said, a lot of it's money and what have you. I don't know what it takes to run a company. I just know what my likes are. I love tag team wrestling, and this was the epitome of it. You know, these guys have had, I think, better matches in AWA. A little bit more faster paced, perhaps, if that makes sense. But this match was excellent, in my opinion.
It was excellent, and let me tell you, you mentioned that they had better matches in the AWA.
I thought so, because I actually, those are a handful that I've seen of the Midnight Rockers.
Well, let me tell you why you think that, and I think I know why you think it, because I don't think it was as fast paced as it was in the AWA. I think the Rockers had to purposely slow down.
Yes.
For this newer Bad Company. Now they're called the Orient Express again, guys. I guess this is 1991. This is not us.
Yeah.
Don't get mad. It's a very racist time, and we're in the middle of a fucking war too at this point too. We'll get into that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But and then the Orient Express, Fuji style, turning it up, like, you know, with the nerve pinches and the and Pat Tanaka with the kung fu fighting, you know. But it was really good. Shawn Michaels playing the part of Ricky Morton, taking a beating of his life.
Absolutely.
You know,
and Jannetty cannot be downplayed at all. His role in this team was, Jannetty was Shawn Michaels before Shawn Michaels was Shawn Michaels, if that makes sense. Jannetty always, for some reason, outshine Shawn Michaels for whatever reason during their tag, which actually made the heel turn so much better. That happens later on this year. But in my opinion, in a lot of these matches, you'll see Jannetty just for some reason, obviously it's maybe the high spots or what have you, but Jannetty was always a part of it. You know, Shawn Michaels was no slouch, but Jannetty was the star of the team, I think.
I agree. It just showed the versatility of Marty Jannetty, and which turned into them putting more stock into Shawn Michaels for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
which we'll get into next year probably. But the match went well. 19 minutes, 13 seconds. The Rockers do pick up the win.
Yep.
Kudos to Mr. Fuji, though, man. He always puts together these teams that will slow any team down. Like whatever they got going on, Fuji sets the tone for all the matches as the heel manager, having the heel tag team. Whether it was Demolition, the Powers of Pain, when he was wrestling with Mr. Saito and Toru Tanaka.
Yep.
Like he always had those teams that just slowed shit down. Owen Hart and Yokozuna. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that kind of part. So I mean, I don't think people give Mr. Fuji enough props for. He even managed Orton and fucking Morocco for like 5 minutes, and they could have been an amazing team to keep them together. But I digress. Your next match, Jay, was the Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
The big ball man taking on the 300
Barbarian.
pound. Now, I want to, before we get into this match, I just want to comment on Roddy Piper for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I adore Roddy Piper. I love Roddy Piper as a performer. I think he's one of my top 10 favorites of all time. His commentary is fucking atrocious.
He's too much.
He's way too much, and he screams the entire thing.
Yeah.
And like he keeps adding weight. What's up, Uptown Georgie? He keeps adding weight to wrestlers. Like the Barbarian walked in at 300 pounds, right? By the time he had the upper hand on the Boss Man in the match, he was 320 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
320 pounds plus. He just was totally biased for the face wrestlers.
Yeah, and it's funny because, and this is coming from we're trained at this point. We're trained to have Ventura, you know what I mean? Like where Ventura was the antithesis, of the play-by-play, the Vince McMahon, the Gorilla Monsoon. Ventura was the antithesis to that. To have two essentially face guys, it really isn't so pleasant sometimes in the ear, So to me, I agree. I was one of the things I was thinking of too, is that it was too much.
I agree. Another thing, this match went way too long.
Yes.
Way too long.
Yeah, it was, dude. Like at one point, Boss Man, I think knew what he was doing, but he couldn't. It got lost a little bit. And he couldn't. He couldn't keep into it. So I just got distracted a little bit. We got another run in.
Oh, it's okay.
So, but big Boss Man at this point wasn't hold on. Go ahead. What do you want to show me? What is he doing? What is he? Wait a minute. He's changing my background. I don't know how to do this.
I know.
So anyway, so this is a podcast, goddammit. Boss Man at this point, you could see that he was definitely sucking some wind, and he was having a lot of trouble doing it. You can see his he needed some air to get into his shirt. But Barbarian, for his right, is
as Dylan puts Jay in San Francisco.
Coincidentally, could belong there. The Northern Lights? Give me the Northern Lights. Nah, don't rotate. Give me the Northern Lights. That looks good. I didn't even know you could do that.
Well, I did.
So, this match went on far too long.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And it's funny because it kind of took away. It took away from Boss Man being in. No, you can't. You can't join the meeting.
Why not?
Because I'm recording right now.
Please, I just want to be in there.
Have kids.
Children.
No, come on. Let me go. So, but Barbarian, like to me, I would rather see Big Boss Man inside of the Royal Rumble.
I agree, 100%.
I know this is a new face turn. It's a new face turn for Boss Man. And to me, I'm just getting distracted because there's just so much going on. Please stop. But like I said, other than that, it wasn't the worst match, but it went on far too long. King Barbarian did not need to be there.
Wearing his hunting the deer hunter headdress he had on.
Yeah. Although that did look pretty badass.
Well, he's a badass.
Oh my God.
When they split the powers of pain up, I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, like I said, to me, I'd rather see Boss Man, but it was funny, even like Boss Man was like a little bit of a heel there.
Well, he had heel tendencies. I mean, Michael and I were talking about the Big Boss Man tonight during dinner, and it was like I explained to him how he was Jimmy Cornette's bodyguard and he won the bunkhouse stampede, I think, at one point, and they built him up, but he didn't get past that status, in NWA. So when he came over here and Vince gave him the gimmick, it made sense. And you had to turn him when they brought Nails in and all the other nonsense. So, I just think it went too long. 2 big slabs of beef, and
it's funny because like Boss Man's, he's widely regarded as a great worker. He just hasn't. He was still.
But the Barbarian is not a very. I mean, the Barbarian can go.
Yeah.
But he's primarily
you tell the Barbarian he's not a good worker.
I'm not telling that. But I will tell I will tell him that he's a better fucking tag wrestler than he is a singles wrestler.
Yes.
And that I think
far.
He was the more agile of the Powers of Pain doing this.
And it's shown in this match. He was coming off the top rope or what have you. Like he was doing his thing in this.
100%.
So
Boss Man gets the win at 14-15, way too long. And in between all this, we get a segment with Scary Sherry and Mean Gene, and Sherry, rest in peace. I can't believe I was telling Mike today at dinner how many friggin' dead people are in this event.
But by the way, like the acting really wasn't that bad. No,
it wasn't bad. So
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I really kind of enjoyed that. Like when she was out I also love that old school interview position that was like inside the crowd on the podium.
You see who's checking in, Jay?
Who's checking in?
You see who's checking in the chat? You didn't see?
I didn't see.
Choppy's a pain in the ass.
Oh, the Chops. He's on assignment. I don't know how to turn his background off the thing now.
It's okay. You look like a mook.
Oh my God.
So now Sean Mooney is interviewing Macho Man. And Macho Man is telling him that he's the number one contender.
This was so cheesy, but
he was the
I don't know.
contender.
I kind of liked it. I really did.
Well, yeah, it was good until the Warrior talked. So like she's like, I'm gonna send Sherry out there. She's gonna persuade the Ultimate Warrior to give me a title shot.
By the way, Sherry's Tennessee accent was completely vacant. She's such a great actress.
Oh, 100%.
She's got some accent sometimes.
100%. So she gets on her knees and she's caressing and seducing the Ultimate Warrior with his USA leather jacket, and he yells out no, and then Savage becomes enraged. And then we have the title match. And then we have a Sergeant Slaughter promo with General Adnan. Talking all fucking.
Who apparently, with doing a little research, because I have nothing to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Adnan knew Saddam Hussein as boys. Adnan grew up in Iraq.
Oh shit.
And actually knew Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, they probably killed people together.
Little known fact. But Adnan used to. I guess he was some sort of a wrestler. He was taking bumps in this match.
Oh no, he was Sheik Adnan Casey from Texas.
From Texas, okay.
Yeah, of course. And Sergeant Slaughter was the ultimate heel. Now he's the ultimate turncoat, and we're in the middle of Desert Storm in Iraq, and they're doing like, and he's like, it's so crazy. And now looking back at it now, and then sort of telling people, hey, he used to get death threats and then they panned out to the crowd and interviewing people that's saying like we telling the troops to be safe and come home and whatever.
You know what? And just to sidebar on that a little bit. Like they WWE always does a good job with that type of stuff. But it was not that it was over the top. I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for, but they were painting it on thick. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying like it was definitely the theme of the night, which makes the conclusion of this match interesting. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
Because you're trying to say the ultimate patriotic thing and watching wrestling and good always must win, but here evil wins, and we know where they're going with this.
Right, it sets up WrestleMania, but Slaughter became the ultimate heel, and he is a guy who, like, G.I. Joe endorsed him. Like, he was on their cartoons. They made figures of him and comic books, and he was always the Patriot guy. He was always the gung-ho. He was Duggan before Duggan was Duggan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for him to do this, and he wasn't a young fucking chicken either at this point. He was a little older in the tooth. But he also played an amazing heel for the right time, right place.
Yep.
And Slaughter was always a good worker.
He knew how to do it. I mean, listen, there was no questioning that.
Former world tag team champion. With Don Kernodle, he was a good performer back in the day.
And for all intents and purposes, listen, Warrior was who he was. Rick Rude Hogan even gave him one of his best matches. Macho Man, quite honestly, probably one of the best.
We'll talk about that this year at WrestleMania.
Cannot wait.
The 10,000 elbow drops.
But Slaughter, for all intents and purposes, did what he could, and there was a lot of the Pat Patterson word Gaga. There's a lot of Gaga in this match, but
a lot of Gaga, chickens, turning chicken shit.
Hogan,
salad,
Hogan, Macho Man. So all of a sudden, Warrior's going he's in the aisleway.
Chasing Sherry. He's chasing
Sherry. And man, Macho Man comes out of the sheer darkness.
And clocks him.
Dude, and I'm saying, we're not saying shoot, not shoot, whatever, but man, he
leveled him. And then to add insult to injury, he takes the fucking he takes the light fixture and fucking rails the Ultimate Warrior. Rails him legit, and Warrior didn't even have a chance to get up. I mean, knowing what we know about Savage now, he's very meticulous about his matches. He planned everything out. I'm sure Warrior agreed to it. I don't think the Warrior knew I don't think the Warrior knew how Savage was going to do it, because he didn't even let Warrior get up. Savage took the light fixture and just leveled him. I was like, and I popped so hard today when I was watching. I was like, that's the way to fucking do it. So now basically Slaughter takes a beating before that though. Now this is now to set up the Warrior being hurt.
But what's good about this too? I didn't mean to cut you off, but like it's the storytelling aspect of it.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's why I liked it too, because Sherry came down to the ring originally with the scepter, and the scepter is just sitting there on the apron, and we forget about it. It's like a magic act.
Right, because that was what she was supposed to do.
And you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, Macho Man comes back down, hiding from the ring, hiding from the ref, and he just hits Warrior with the scepter. And once again, look pretty legit as well. And but and then Slaughter just basically, Slaughter, his finishing move was always the Cobra Clutch. But he hit Warrior with an elbow drop, for the win. But man, this crowd went in.
Well, what about he smashes the Warrior's head? And the best was if you watch Superstars and all that afterwards, the Warrior cuts a promo. We'll play it maybe in another couple of weeks, where he says that the piece of the scepter is still in his head. The scepter still in his head, and he kept the piece of the scepter in his head, just to to remind him of how fucked up it was.
Sorry, another running.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, no, it sets up. So now the crowd is just stunned at this point. Like the air was taken out of that arena. You know,
it really and it goes to show, like you said, because I wonder, Phil, you could speak on it better than I can. Was this a surprise? I mean, obviously, looking at it now, we knew what the outcome was going to be. I don't know what they were originally planning. It seemed like, this is just my outlook on it. It seemed like they were trying to do something. Obviously, Hogan was going to win the Rumble. We'll talk about that, obviously.
Yeah.
But it almost seemed like Tugboat had something in his promo where he goes, "Hogan, if I run into you as well," he gave.
Yeah, no, a lot of guys gave their strategies away though in their promos.
But to me, was it obviously? I wonder, with everything that was happening with Tugboat and Hogan in '90, the obvious '91 rivalry for Hogan is Tugboat.
Because Tugboat
the only thing that makes sense.
He initially would turn and they would form the Natural Disasters.
Yeah, but I'm saying even before that, like to turn on Hogan in and of itself, because you got to give Hogan a heel. And they never did the Tugboat.
Yeah, but that makes sense. But that had to take a back seat because of the times.
Yeah, and like I said, Desert Storm happening. So now, them putting the belt on Slaughter, which is huge balls.
It's a ballsy move, and like it. I mean, we were all shocked. Like this is, and I thought it was fantastic.
And let's put it this way. I'm not trying to turn this political at all. You cannot do that today.
Oh no,
you can't do half this stuff. That today.
You can't bring Samba Simba out. You can't have Virgil cleaning dog shit off DiBiase's shoe.
But I'm saying
you can't have Slaughter win the title.
I'm saying could you imagine? Let's just I just thought of it now, and this is gonna be hilarious to say, but like imagine you just have a heel wrestler just going, "All right, Roman, Drew McIntyre, like here I am. I have more coronavirus for you, and I'm gonna spray you with this." You can't say that. Meanwhile, in 1991, that's essentially what was happening. We were
you had the Orient Express. It was the most racist fucking name for a tag team.
But I'm saying we're mixing real life with
no, you can't do that now. You're 100% right. 100%.
You can't. And it's funny because I think that's something that's kind of missing right now. Would be something like that. So,
and the match went perfect. 12 minutes 44 seconds.
And to me, like I said, I really, I don't know. I never seen this match ever. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the match for what it was.
I did too. The Warrior works better with established guys.
Yeah. Listen, and like I said, but it's just funny to put on where the original. There's no way this was the original plan. They just called it as it happened, which this was the right call, especially with everything going on.
Well, this has Pat Patterson all over it.
Yeah, but I wonder,
between the Rumble and the storyline. This is Pat Patterson's baby.
I wonder if we could find out. I'd have to do a little research, a little bit.
We talked about this. I was talking about this with Michael tonight because Michael's like, would it? He asked me about Pat Patterson. Like, what do you think was going through his head when he made that? I said when he made up the Royal Rumble gimmick, and I was like, well, it's the best gimmick they've ever had.
Yes.
In terms of a match. And B, it's the element of surprise.
Yep.
Which is why I think he wrote this entire fucking card.
Yeah, well, I think
Pat Patterson booked this just because of his booking element of surprise. Always throwing it in there, always keeping them guessing, always putting guys in spots where they should be, where in other times they wouldn't be. Like you're not going to bring a middle-aged Sergeant Slaughter in here at any other time to win the world title. This made
but he was
perfect sense.
Believable though.
That's the thing, and he brought guys out. Like he brought guys in and was like, "Okay, we're gonna turn you heel." And they said, and he even said he was like, He had hesitations. He didn't want to do it.
How could you not? Because, and especially
his
to
character, his persona was everything but that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was a regular person and turned Iraqi sympathizer. He was the fucking patriot. He was G.I. Joe. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden he's the fucking Iraqi sympathizer. So it made perfect sense. And on top of that, it just sets up WrestleMania. That was my only. I was depressed about that because I knew.
By the way, just a super side note. During the wrestling convention, the 80s wrestling convention last year in October.
Yeah.
Who was he looking for? Remember, he was looking for somebody.
Bob Backlund.
He was looking. we had such a surreal moment when he's like, "Hey, you guys see Bob Backlund?" We were like, "Nah, we haven't seen him, Sarge." And like we walked away. It was just like, "Yo, this guy's asking us."
Yeah,
like,
he's asking us where people are in the parking lot. That's pretty funny.
It was like it was such a surreal moment. And then there's another side thing with Sergeant Slaughter. He actually towed my father's friend's boat. My father's friend's boat died, on the water, whatever. So he actually hooked up his and I think my father's friend had it was an envelope of some sort. I don't know, whatever it was, a bill or something, but he had it signed for me. He knew I was a huge wrestling fan. But that's the beauty of this is that Sarge was believable.
Yes, 100%.
And he went full in. He had the I don't know what that is. That called a chic or whatever that's called. He had that on, and God, man, the crowd just got so behind it. It was great to see. This was to me. I enjoyed this.
All right, your next match, the Mountie taking on Coco Beware.
Coco Beware should have got. First off, here comes the Mountie. The Mountie is getting an entrance with no music. It's not the Mountie music.
Not yet.
It was yes. It was no music. So why the fuck are you not giving Coco Beware some music?
He had music.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know. He had music, and he could have came out with the bird.
He had the Bird song. Then he actually sang the title track to the Pile Driver album.
On the Pile Driver album. And Coco Beware is legend has it. Tough motherfucker outside the ring.
Yeah, he was in a really good tag team in Mid-South, PYT.
Yeah.
He was an established guy for a while. They brought him in as a mid-carder, and he was always in tag teams at one point, him and Owen Hart and whatever. But, Coco was a tough dude. We all know Jacques Rougeau, and he was another tough dude, the second-generation wrestler. Wrestled. He had his and his family had their own fed. They ran Grand Prix in Montreal.
And he was a celebrity.
He was him and Dino Bravo, him and his brother, and Raymond, Dino Bravo. They were all celebrities, But 9 minutes 12 seconds. The Mountie gets they both got their spots in, and the Mountie wins. And this is before he started using.
We got a little time, obviously. But something dawned on me. Obviously, the Mountie has unsurmisable heat with WWF or WWE, because why isn't the Rougeau brothers?
Well, no,
the Hall of Fame. No, but the Mountie in and of itself should be in.
Well, Raymond works for them. He does
the
French commentary. French Canadian commentary. So I mean,
but why isn't Jacques Rougeau in? Is he turning it down?
Wasn't he in Dark Side of the Ring on the Dino Bravo episode?
Was the Mountie? He might have been.
I thought he was.
He might have been.
I thought he was. Guys,
it's funny. I just seen him on Hulu, the Dark Sides again. I want to watch it before season 3 comes out again now.
Yeah, you got to watch the fucking Gino Hernandez one was dope.
Oh, I love the Gino. Yeah. Oh, I've seen them all. The only one I haven't seen, funny enough, is New Jack. That's the only one I have.
New Jack was all right. That was pretty cool. It wasn't my favorite one though.
But it dawned on me. I was like, wow, why isn't the Mountie in the Hall of Fame? That's such a WWF gimmick, and it was a great WWF gimmick.
They all get in Jay eventually. It's people get too. I think people get too hung. And I had this conversation.
I do. I get because I want
like my buddy Tank.
Want them to go in. I don't want them to go in posthumously. I want them to go posthumously.
Right.
I want them to
I
go
see
in.
your point. I see your point. I see.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's a shame. Like, even like shit. You might as well be sponsored by the Solomonster. He says it all the time on his show. Like, Demolition is a team, once again, a quintessential WWF team that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, if they take, they have a legitimate reason why they're not, because they have.
They're in the lawsuit.
They're in litigation, right? But they're still bitter. They're still bitter old men about it, So it's like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't listen. My buddy Tank, rest his soul, God rest his soul, rest in peace. I can't. He all the time. How come the Mounties not in? How come so and so's not in? And I'm like, dude, they're all gonna fucking get in. Like it's. I mean, again, not dead. Obviously, we don't want them dead, but still. Anyway.
Yeah.
Your next match.
Well, the Mountie wins. Like
Mountie
you said,
wins, yeah.
With the weird choke slam. It almost looked like Boss Man's sidewalk slam.
Yeah, I think that was one of his finishes. Yeah.
But yeah, this was and it's funny because I cannot wait for SummerSlam '91 with at the Garden with Boss Man against Mountie. That is going to be such
when Boss Man gets locked up. I mean, Mountie gets locked up.
Yeah,
he goes to central booking. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Otherwise, the next match they have a great promo with the $1 Million Man. The only thing missing from this show was a promo with Dusty and Dustin. What the fuck was that?
Well, they probably cut one before on Superstars or something, but yeah. So Dusty's had this long running feud with DiBiase. He lost Sapphire to DiBiase. But now DiBiase's getting more and more aggressive in his persona. He starts taking out on Virgil in certain promos, and then the last promo before the actual card was him stepping on a gallon hat and then stepping in like cow shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes Virgil wipe DiBiase's boot with the shit on it, and then so now right before this, Gorilla Monsoon and Piper are talking, and apparently Roddy Piper had lunch with Virgil that day, and Gorilla was so intrigued.
He lost his headset.
And he dropped his headset. You guys had lunch? He's like, yeah. And Piper's like, yeah, we had a little din. Piper talks. He's like, yeah, we talked about respect and stuff that money can't buy and being a man. I'm like, oh man. Like,
I hate to say it, but it didn't need that. Like all he had to do,
it did not need it at all.
Because what they were trying to do with the story is during the promo, obviously Virgil is upset and he's mean mugging into the camera. best acting of Virgil's possibly of his career, except for his cameo appearance, which I'm surprised we haven't said anything about actually. But he it was good. This is the only way you can get Virgil away from DiBiase and the monster quote unquote babyface run that Virgil had.
Yeah, so now, like I said, now he gets aggressive now Dustin Rhodes was at ringside at a Saturday Night's Main Event.
Mm-hmm.
They rough up Dustin. Dusty gets involved. They become a tag team. Dustin Rhodes is literally 21 years old in this.
Yeah. Now Dustin was trained by Dusty. I mean, I know it's a stupid question to ask.
I'm gonna say yeah, he was trained by Dusty.
I don't know for sure. I probably should. I'll try to look it up now.
But this was not this is before WCW.
Oh yeah, but you
before
you could see the quintessential how he hit the ropes. He hit the ropes the same way here that he's always done. And it just shows you what a natural, what a natural athlete he was and a natural professional wrestler, you should say. So to me, this was a great opening thing. Yeah, it says he started wrestling in '88. So he's only about 2 years wrestling at this point.
He left right after this match. Like he didn't stay. He went to WCW. And he was the natural. And his first feud was with I want to say Larry Zbyszko, I think, he refused to join the York Foundation.
Yes, that's right.
I could be wrong, but did correct me, guys? But I think that was his first feud, and he's won like fucking almost 20 championships.
Yeah.
So I know that for a fact.
But I tell you, they came out and they were in Florida, they were in Miami, and crowd went nuts, man. Crowd went nuts for Dusty.
Rhodes. Dusty owns Florida.
Yeah.
Dusty was the reason why the Grams didn't go bankrupt back in the day. He took Florida Championship Wrestling, put on his shoulders. Once he turned on Pac Sun and Gary Hart, and he became Stardust, American Dream, whatever the case may be. That once he did that, Eddie Graham taught him the business.
Yes.
But like he was the
not just booking, but business.
Yeah, and you can ask Kevin Sullivan. You can ask anybody who was in that territory. Dusty Rhodes made that territory. So Florida will always be near and dear to Dusty, always. So
and Steve Curran helped with along with Dusty.
100%. 100%. Okay.
So,
yeah, that makes sense.
But
another Florida guy.
I like this match. This was a stepping stone to get Virgil away from DiBiase, even though they won the match.
It made sense. But it made sense that they won the match.
Yes.
Because now DiBiase can gloat, "Hey, I won. Put this belt on me. Get the belt. Put the belt on me." And Virgil's like, "Oh."
Yep.
And then Virgil pops him and whatever. But it made perfect sense. If Dusty and Dustin would have won, it takes the steam off of DiBiase, who's a lunatic at this point. So it made perfect sense. Perfect. I mean, I don't want to see him. Never want to see Dusty lose, but
it's funny because and you don't think about it though. Like Dusty was in WWF, for nearly 2 years, about 2 years, where he left in '89 when he was done with Crockett, done with TBS.
Yep.
The spike in the eye from the Road Warriors.
'88.
Yeah. Excuse me, but he and Dusty talked about it too, where he just went to WWF to be like, "What do you need me to do? Well, I'll be this character. Like, give me the polka dots, baby.
Yes.
Like,
polka dots, if you will.
I'm gonna get this." And that motherfucker got it over. Like that. There's no denying.
Before he tells Tony Schiavone, though,
you like this hat? You better like this hat. That's no lie.
That's right.
He can. And that's what I mean. Like that's what was missing on this pay-per-view is just
a Dusty promo. Yeah,
a Dusty promo. Like, yo, mother effer, bring this in.
Yeah,
because we knew what happened at the Saturday night's main event. Like you bloodied Dusty's son. Like we want to hear what Dusty Rhodes. Like I'd love to. You're right. It's probably like on Superstar or something. We'll have to find it. But man, that's something that was missing from here. And in my opinion.
All right, so now we get to the main event.
Yeah.
The Royal Rumble. I have the Royal Rumble. Yeah.
It's a rumble.
It's a rumble. Yeah, Paul. Anyway, I'll go down. I'll run it in the you like these polka dots? Better like these polka dots. That's no lie. That's right, Shaylin. I'll run down the entrance in order. Bret Hart drew number 1.
Wait a minute, just to cut you off. The promos, that's something else that's missing from today's day and age.
No, I played. Oh yeah, from today's day and age. Oh yeah, 100%.
The promos it's not from everybody, just a select few. The promos that happened before the match was just back to back to back to back to back. It was just awesome. It really does get you interested. And it was funny because I made a note with Bulldog's promo. We all know how they do promos. Like, all right, we're going to be here at the such and such date. Bulldog had like 7 words to say, and you know that it was like the 14th take, and they just go, "Bulldog, do me a favor,
just flex,
fucking you, just
yeah, just flex and shut the fuck up,
move on." That's exactly what happened.
Correct.
Just flex, get on with it, please. I had that written down, but yeah. So go ahead.
So I'll make it to you in order. So Bret Hart is number 1. Dino Bravo number 2.
Who Dino looked like $1 million, and Greg the Hammer Valentine for that stand too for number 3.
Yeah. Greg Valentine 3. Paul Roma number 4. Texas Tornado, number 5. Rick Martel, 6. Samba Simba, number 7. Bushwhacker Butch at 8. Jake the Snake at 9. Hercules at 10. Tito Santana at 11. Undertaker at 12. Jimmy Superfly Snooker at 13. He didn't do it, brother. Davey Boy Smith, 14. Smash, Hawk, Shane Douglas, Randy Savage no-showed. He was 18. Animal, Crush, Duggan, Earthquake, Mr. Perfect, Hogan, Haku, God bless you, Jim Neidhart, who, Bushwhacker Luke, Brian Knobs, the Warlord, and number 30 was Tugboat. All right, so let's get into it a few minutes here. We got some, yeah.
I love the. First off, Bret Hart coming out first. Does that not make perfect sense?
Oh,
they just started. It's always in the early rumbles. If you pay attention,
yes, Shayla, we know why Savage didn't show up. Maybe if you was in the chat room, you'd heard us.
Yeah, he was running away.
Yes,
he was running away.
Yes, we spoke about that. Thank you, but thank you very much.
But you know, baby faces for the most part always came out number 1 because you want to get behind them, and it was funny because Monsoon made a comment. He goes, well, these two guys aren't going to have any chance to win, like because it's the idea of 2 minutes, between every entrant coming out, and these things were a shoot, 60 minutes long.
Well, let's talk about entry number 6, Rick Martel.
Yeah.
Okay.
It stays into what, the final 5?
52 minutes. He broke the record.
Yeah.
Broke the record, and
the record was set the year prior with Greg Valentine, who's this,
Yeah, and then the next year was obviously with Ric Flair, but Martel looked like $1,000,000.
Even during that promo, man.
Oh, that promo when I was just telling Michael that when he flexed, dude, I was like, holy shit, man. And then Michael, have you seen him lately?
No, I haven't seen him lately.
He just showed me a picture of him. He still looks good at 60+ years old.
Dude, he flexed or whatever, and the first thing I said to myself was like, you know what? Damn right, he should have been AWA heavyweight champion.
Yeah, and then he got beat by my man though.
Yeah,
Stan Hansen.
But he lasted in there, and dude, there was a lot of good moments in this, but Greg the Hammer Valentine looked great in this match.
He killed it. Hercules and Paul Roma did good as a team.
I was just gonna say, I never put over Paul Roma. Never put over Paul Roma.
Oh no,
man,
Power and Glory with dope.
Yeah. Oh, I love them as a team, but Paul Roma looked great in this. Hercules Hernandez lasted a decent amount of time in this as well.
Yeah.
And
so Bret Hart, and now Bret Hart was eliminated by Undertaker at 20:33. Dino Bravo was eliminated by Greg Valentine at 3:06. Greg Valentine was eliminated by Hogan at 44:03. So Greg Valentine hung in there for a while. Paul Roma got eliminated by Jake Roberts at 14:05.
But it was funny because they were telling the great story with Jake Roberts and Martel. As soon as Roberts gets to the ring, they're going at it, and then people like getting in the middle. It's funny because Royal Rumbles these days they're stuck with. They're always worried about the surprises. They're always so worried about the surprises and not so much about they're not so much worried about the storylines. Like they're not trying to continue storylines or what have you. And to me, this is something that is lost now because WWF did a great thing in the 90s where they were trying to continue, they were incorporating all the storylines and keeping them going. So, Rick Rude, Rick Martel, Jake the Snake, Demolition was going after Bulldog, they were doing something. And is this going on YouTube? We're on YouTube right now.
Yeah. And then the only other thing to point out is Luke going in for 4 seconds against Earthquake.
Yes. Well,
and
and
that was a
it's
record.
funny because it tells the story of the following year when it tells the following because next year '92 Luke comes in and gets thrown right out and goes right back out, and it's like 2 seconds. He gets eliminated, I think, by the Warlord. No, Warlord got eliminated quick. He got eliminated by somebody else, but
Yeah, I'll have to watch it again. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I thought it was good. And Hogan obviously wins. He eliminates the Brian Knobbs, the Warlord, and then Tugboat.
Brian, how about this? Can we ever say that Brian Knobbs was part of the final 4 of a Royal Rumble?
No, not until this time.
I would never think that sentence would ever be said. But and like I said, he came in. It looked like he had like a lot of heat. Like I don't know. It looked like Hercules was shooting in on him. Like these guys were like throwing him around.
How about Earthquake just beating up on all the fucking heels?
Yes.
He beat up Mr. Perfect. He beat up what's his face? Warlord got eliminated by Hogan in the Royal Rumble. Yeah, we're talking about the Bushwhackers though.
Yeah.
So
and but like like even like seeing that stuff, like there was a lot of heel against heel, which is because it's funny because if you really think about it, it plays into the idea of the heel. Like they're in it for themselves. So even Greg the Hammer Valentine started it off right away. Which, by the way, has Hammer Valentine ever worked babyface? Like we always talk about how Steamboat always worked face.
No, not in this territory.
Valentine was never. I don't think he was ever a babyface.
No,
but they were talking about it with him attacking Dino Bravo right away. Like, what's going on there? There's no friends in the Rumble.
There's no friends. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So Hogan wins it, and it makes perfect sense because now he has the momentum.
But here's the thing. I what I would like to have seen. Now we're gonna go. Obviously, Hogan was gonna. I wonder if you were watching it live. If it was 1991, you see Slaughter win, right? Slaughter wins the title. You're not sold on Warrior, for whatever reason. Now you are arguably rooting for Hogan to win. Hogan has to win.
Right, it makes perfect sense.
He
of course,
has to win this Rumble.
Of course.
And there was one thing I wish we would have seen would have been, like I said, a little tugboat, dissension maybe. Something happened, like that would have been pretty cool to see, But for the most part, I really this match, a standalone match was great. I thought it was actually it was really done well. And the end, Hogan bringing in the signs, all the, bring our, here's to our fighters, here's to our military, this and that. Like they were doing all that stuff. So it was to me, it was a really well done pay-per-view, I should say.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved the first couple of Rumbles anyway.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite. They're actually my favorite. I love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was happy we did this. I was waiting all month.
This was a good one. This was, because once again, it for some reason, simplicity always goes out, and it always kind of goes over, and in and of itself is that it always does that type of thing where the simple storylines, the simple actions always speak in louder volume than anything else. So, and
absolutely,
this was proof positive of it.
All right, well, that's gonna do it. Any other notes before we head out, or?
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to say was they were promoting the LA Coliseum
right after the title match.
Yeah.
The
LA Coliseum, I think held like over 100,000.
Yeah,
right?
it was yeah. That was, I think USC plays there. I think
yes,
the Rams played there for a little while.
There's in 1991. Is there any possible way with the Hogan Sergeant Slaughter match? Are you selling out LA Coliseum? with that?
I mean, you might because of what's going on, but the outdoor thing was didn't they move it to indoors at one point?
Oh, they moved in because I think they were claiming bomb threats.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, because the first outdoor one was 9.
I think there was no whatchamacallit, no ticket sales.
Yeah, but we'll cover that in a couple months. So
yeah, I can't wait. WrestleMania 7, one, it's definitely a good one.
yeah, definitely. All right, let's get out of here then.
Let's get out of here. I got work in the morning.
All right, guys. Thank you. You guys all know the social media handles. We're on every podcast platform, I think, at this point. And we'll be making an announcement for next week. We might be moving we're probably going to be moving to an earlier time for the near future. Jay and I are going to we'll hash out and we'll put it on a website and we'll put it on the social media pages and stuff. But thank you very much for hanging out with us. Have a great rest of your weekend. Jay, enjoy your week. Please be safe.
You too, man.
And we'll see you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. All right. Thank you, Pat.